it's definitely a challenge, but I would say like maybe not the hardest thing that we do. In that, I think our initial strategy, I would say, is to first like explain the technology, even if there are probably members of the community that understand solar panels a lot, and there are probably some members of the community that understand solar panels only a little bit, in that they absorb solar and create electricity. I think distilling down what is important to understand about the solar panels is one of our jobs. And then the other one is to create materials that explain that well, that don't go too deep into the details that they don't necessarily need to know about. I think I would say that I've been surprised by how deep into the weeds the community members have the capacity and want to go into. I think more so want rather than have the capacity. Everybody has the capacity to learn a lot. But we went very deep into like, what are all the chemicals within the silicon cell, within the solar panel, and are any of them toxic, and where specifically are the panels manufactured, and is the labor there compensated fairly? Like I think there was a lot of interest in going deep, and so we just created presentations, created opportunities for people to ask questions. If we didn't know the answer to it, we would take that back to our internal team, do research, and come present again. I think creating an atmosphere in which it felt like we were all learning together. The fact that like I'm not a solar panel engineer, and a lot of people on our team aren't necessarily like solar developers. We are also a startup that is learning about this kind of alongside them. And even now that we know some of it already and are very familiar with solar panels, creating an environment in which we are kind of collectively learning, I think made people feel more confident asking the questions. Also making sure that the experts who manufacture solar panels or are electrical engineers, we mostly don't let them like steer the conversation, because I think they are used to the language that they are used to, and that's not super helpful in like the public workshop sphere. So trying to take their information and explain it in our own words was also important. I would definitely say that pre-reading materials was not successful. We mostly, like, people all pre-read at different rates and at different levels of investment, so we kind of gave up on the pre-reading. I think we mostly did, I would say, pretty much everything in Google Slides. Tools being pretty simple is good. Tools being visual. We got a lot of really great feedback from the solar design software, like buying a subscription to a solar design software and then screen sharing the back end of that, so that we kind of immersed the participants in, okay, this is what solar engineers use. Like, this is, you drag and drop solar panels onto this field and it analyzes it for you. It kind of like breaks down and demystifies how the technology actually works. I think that was one of the biggest learnings for me, also being relatively new to the energy industry and feeling the same level of like, oh my gosh, there's so much that I don't know, like I am unworthy. Realizing that once I got kind of a foot into the energy industry, that pretty much no one knows everything about it. There are some very handy experts that lend time to us, but for the most part, everyone is learning, and to kind of create that environment for our workshop participants was very effective.